Maybe you found me through my YouTube channel, website, book on Amazon, my podcast, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, or someplace else. Welcome. But a lot of you found me on YouTube because of my 5 spin method, which currently has 1.3 million views on the 2 videos I posted for it, and combined has reached 11.5 million slots enthusiasts. That's up by 11 million from a year ago. Just, now we're talking millions. Pretty soon we're going to be talking real money. That's what my old professor used to say. $1,000 here, $1,000 here. There, pretty soon we're going to be talking real money. But he was talking about government contracts from the Department of Energy. But anyway, how do I get in these topics? Well, my 5 spin method is just the tip of the iceberg. I have 10 winning slot strategies. Soon I'll have 11, and that's not including how to win in the state of Washington on their Class 3 machines. So today, I'll briefly introduce you to each of those 10 winning slots strategies that can work in any state. Today, I'll briefly introduce you to each of them. And since I only want to take like 20 minutes, that's about 2 minutes per strategy. I'll be super brief just to keep this live stream at 2 hours or less, which is what I need to do because my voice only lasts that long. So, deal? And of course, I'll be taking your questions because this is a live stream. I'm only saying that because, of course, the people who are live here now know it's a live stream, but you might be watching this after the fact. Hello to you watching this recording. Thank you for being here, and be sure to subscribe for notifications so you can have your questions answered the next time I do one of these. But either way, stick around, and I'm sure it'll be of value to you, even if you are watching this after the fact. For those of you who are here live, thank you so much. Whether you are on YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, my Facebook page, John Friedel Professor Slots, wherever you're coming in from, comment if you have a question, but make sure you use hashtag question in front of your comment so I can spot it. There's a lot, in the live chat, there's a lot of comments going back and forth, and because this is a community video, and friends, are here, and they check in on one another, and they comment back, and they give each other advice, and it's a support community. Every time I have a live stream, and I do that 3 times a week. Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern, Thursdays at 3 p.m. Eastern, and my Saturdays at noon Eastern, which I've been doing for not quite three years. So I'm somewhere in 155 or 56 live streams at this point, and it's better with practice. Improve your slots as those you who have been here since the beginning know. So, John, there's something called lighting. John gets a clue. So improve your slots performance in 30 days or less with my 30 days to play slots smarter and win. You also get 3 free valuable bonuses, including 1 month free to my Slots IQ membership. This last Thursday group meeting was just awesome, I have to say. And if you go to professorslots.com/30 days, you'll see more about the bonuses. They're here down at the bottom. And this is where you would sign up. Just go to professorslots.com/30 days and click any of the green buttons. This is the long description. We're going to talk about section 5 slot strategies, but there's a lot of other things going on in the course that helps you be successful once you know the strategies, and it's which I might not get into. We have a long live stream today, and so please make sure you go to professorslots.com/30 days. It is currently offered at $97, and it's a whole bunch of content. Lots of people are taking it and enjoying it. I also have several other courses. 1 week ago today, I launched 2 other courses. One of them is free. It's basically record keeping, and one of these is 7 gambling record secrets. seriously, you should know these things. Do you want your taxes back? Do you want to even have taxes on your gambling winnings? How to avoid them, even if you don't. Um, get gambling deductions currently, you're one big jackpot away from being able to do that. So yes, there's a bunch of secrets I'm sharing, but I made this because I've offered templates as a bonus, and sold them for a year, 2 years. I've discounted this um, uh, program, this teaching how to use the spreadsheets, which I had not offered before a week ago, how to use the spreadsheets, but I took $17 off because somewhere out there's people that I kind of know who got the spreadsheet templates or got paid for them or got them free. But you know what? I'm not going to sort that out. I'm just going to give it to everybody with a $17 discount. And even if you got them, you're hundreds of people, 500, 700 people who got them for free with the course. This is how to use them and go through everything. And but that discount of $17 to bring it down to $20 ends tomorrow at midnight. And I thought you should know that. So courses.professorslots.com, and you can see what my courses are, including the one that's free. Right, so you can see what I'm like. Now, oh no, we have, my goodness, there is Magpie's donation. Thank you, Magpie. Magpie is switching it up. Her super chat now says, winners pay attention to factors they have control over. Well done. Well done. And also thank you to Chuck. Chuck is one of my moderators. He has given a donation of $20.81. And dude, greetings from the plague house. Cindy gave me her cold. I'm sorry to hear that. I know you've been very busy with everything going on, and I hope you feel better soon. I hope Cindy feels better soon. Please take care. Yeah. And Camilla says, hi, Camilla, a regular, says, good morning. It's 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And she says, hit the like button. So please hit the like button. And that would be awesome. And slots of fun. A couple are. Don't laugh at Chuck, is also a moderator. Thank you. And for Joanna, who is here, thank you. Hello, Dylan, and Bill from Columbus, not too far up the road from me. And Serena C, she likes Curie right there. And as she says, hello, sweet kitty, from Seattle. And John is here. Good morning, winners. You're starting to sound like Margaret. And Serenacy's finished my initial run through of the course. It is 30 days, but you can take it in less time. There's homework, and part of that, some of that homework is, please go to the casino and do this, not bet, but there's homework. And so you might be able to get it done in like 4 days. I had somebody take it in, what was it, 20 minutes. And as the instructor, I can see how long they spent on like a 4-minute video. They spent 15 seconds. So you can take it pretty darn fast, but don't take it too fast. Not that I think that you are starting to see that you're doing that. Yeah. And hey, Ed, welcome from Georgia. Yeah, we get people from all over the United States also, and I get people from all over the United States, or we with the moderators, Canada, England, Australia. They come in from everywhere. That's and which is just awesome. which is just awesome. And welcome everybody. So let's get started. One of the requests that I got was, do more slides. And so I am doing more slides and offering that. So let's get started. We have, yes, let me do that instead. Okay. Several things going on here. This is the title of my and I'm so sorry, Chuck, that you're in the plague house now, and I'm sorry to have to that I'm laughing about that. So there's the 5-spin strategy, and how this works is I'm going to show you the title, I'm going to show you the cover slide that I use, and I'm going to show you the URL, which you might have to just remember professorslots.com and then type in 5-spin-method, or you can go to my website. And I'm making all this very convenient. I'm trying to help. So I'm making all this very convenient for you. This is professorslots.com. Can you see my mouse right there? Some people have very small screens. If you click on that, I'll leave that available so I can show it later. Then you can, where are you at here? Yes. So this is strategies. It's my category, and if you look at all of these are the ones about the strategy for the state of Washington and etc. So I am going to start with my first strategy. I stopped using numbers, but this is where you can find. If you go under strategies, you can see a bunch of articles, and including my 10 so far strategies. There's other stuff in there about when in Washington, the state of Washington, how, if you're going to go to Las Vegas, as you might be able to see at the bottom of the screen there, and if you're, the tough love method and all of that. So this is the 5-spin method, and we're talking about that now. Right. So this is the article. I show the YouTube, I embed the YouTube video at the start. This is the case for all of my articles. So you could go directly to YouTube, but not all of you are on YouTube. Some of you are on Twitter, TikTok, well, not TikTok, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook. And so professorslots.com, and go to the strategies and you can find all these articles. And this is where I fully describe it, more than I'm going to be able to do in 20 minutes. And half that time's gone now. So got to get a move on. And so that's how this works. And I will show you the, the five, the across the bottom will be this URL, and that's what you need. Also remember to use #question if you have a question. And I believe I've started that banner across the bottom, which pretty much covers up that part of the screen. So, okay, I'll turn that off. Let's see, hide. Okay. Now, here's the 5-spin strategy. Play slot machines for up to 5 spins. If you win anything at all, immediately stop playing and move on to the next machine. That's it. What you're trying to do is collect tastes. These are the initial wins that the casino likes to give you to get you to stay and to get you to spend your money and get you to spend money that you brought with you, but also go get some. And so that's a strategy. It's at about 1 in 4 casinos, or every casino on the Las Vegas Strip. Now, test your casino with minimum bets out on the main casino floor instead of jumping directly to the high limit slots room. That's why I have 2 videos on this. The first video, I talked about what I did, and thank you for the donations. I'll get to them in just a second. What I did was I saw it in my high limit room originally and used it to win many hand pays. And when I first did the video, I kind of started in the middle of my story. And lots of people were like, well, I've never been to the high limit room, so I guess I'm just going to go there. Which I was like, no, but, test it out with minimum bets first. And so, yes, check to see if your casino has it. First step, and the second step is see if you can make money from it. This is just the tip of the iceberg. Honestly, that's my 2 minutes on this strategy. Those of you who have taken the course, there's more to it, but those are details, and I'm just doing a brief summary of each of these. So I want to thank Gina, and I have a Post-it note right here with what I need to give you this weekend, and thank you, Gina, for that donation of $9.99. It is very much appreciated. Also, Robe sent a super sticker, as did Gina, saying thanks. And number one, which I wish I could show you, but it's kind of like how this all works. And so that is great. Lisa, hello. Thank you for coming in from the sunny suburbs of Chicago. And Mel's here saying hi. Hi, Mel. Right. So make sure you put hashtag question, and I'll get through these next 9 strategies, and I'll start taking questions. And so basically, the second one is right. The second one is, I'm trying to remember here. Oh, yes. Right. So professorslots.com/progressive-jackpots. And this is what that looks like. If you go to the website, this is what it looks like there. And again, a video. And you can see the full description here. I'll stop saying that eventually. And there are effectively 2 approaches to winning at progressive slot machines. You can treat it like a non-progressive slot machine and try to win at smaller, it's line pays, line hits, or you can deliberately try to hit its progressive jackpot. Now, but they have multiple progressive jackpots, so you have to target one of them. And this article goes into how to do that. So yes, you can treat it like any machine, and all these strategies may work at your casino, or you can target the progressives. And we talked, I think it was last time, or was it the time before, we talked about becoming a specialist, a progressive jackpot specialist. And so you'll get more detail about this approach with progressives in this article. And I could go on for an hour, but we're moving on. So the next is earning comps, because earning comps from your loyalty club is something that is a winning strategy. Some people would say, no, it's not a winning strategy. I'm like, well, you have to want it. Some people would rather have money. Some people would rather have fun. Some people would rather earn comps. And what's the winning strategy for earning comps? And it's called bankroll cycling. Okay. You are looking for machines, just like with all the other strategies. You are looking for machines the casino has set up to win, just from the way they do business and within legal restrictions, which are not many and far between. So what you're looking for is a different type of winning machine. For those people who want comps, you need to get tier points. You need to get comp points. You need to get more points within your tier on your loyalty club to get to the next tier. You're not into money. You need it just to go to the casino. But what you're looking for is not a machine on which you are winning money, although that's great. What you're focused on is get on a machine where you cycle bankrolls over and over and over again. So that would be here. That's where that article is, and that video, and that explains that. So where comps is the gambling goal. So you're trying to find machines which are winners in a different sense than you might have ever thought before. You're trying to find machines on which you don't lose. You put $300 in, and 3 hours later you have $300 in the machine, but you've spent it like 5 times. That's a lot of comp points. check to see if you've gone up a tier level. And those types of winning machines don't matter to people who want to make money. They are fun for people who are into entertainment, but they are the gold standard for people who want to earn comps. This is how you rack them up. I mean, I had $3,000 for personally. I play high limit machines, and I have gone in, found winning machines at my casino, which I have learned well, and spent that $3,000 and went home with $4,500. But I spent that $3,000 12 times. I look at my comp points, and 5 points from every dollar. No, $5 for every point. That's better for Caesar's Rewards at the time. And I went up 40,000 points, $40,000. And what is that? 8,000 points. And that's how much I spent. I spent that $3,000. What? Why am I drawing a blank here? 15 times. And then I got a little bit extra. And that's what I went home with a profit. Knock yourself out. But if you don't want comps, and if you are very worried about your player's club card doing something, then don't use your card and don't be concerned about comps. Yeah, right. Okay, so next up is special event promotions and winning at your casino. This is very similar to the morning after holiday celebrations, which I'll explain next. Basically, get up early in the morning. You need to be playing, stop playing by 6:30 a.m. If you've gone to 7 o'clock in the morning, 7 a.m., it's too late. It's all over by 6:30 in the morning. Don't bother coming in at like 2 o'clock in the morning. It's the sweet spot is between 4 a.m. and 6:30 a.m. So that's why I call it early riser. So again, that article is at professorslots.com, special events, event promotions. And that's this article here with its video. Okay. And that's 2 minutes for that one. Strategy number 5. I'm already over budget on my time. And I want to thank John. His super sticker is also the same as Robe's. Number one. Thank you so much, John. It is very much appreciated. Thank you. And let me get through holiday celebrations so we can let's see, so we can get to your questions, because I know you have questions. Right. And that away, and all these buttons to push. Right. So number 5 is win on the morning after holiday celebrations. It's very similar to the after promotions, only there's fewer. And holidays can be, Memorial Day, the morning after, Labor Day, the morning after, but it can also be like Valentine's Day or Halloween, where it's not a federal holiday. And this year, was it this year? Yeah, I think it was this. Was it this year? Time's flying. We had Juneteenth as an additional federal holiday, and the question that everybody has to ask themselves about this strategy is, does your casino celebrate it? There's a little subtlety here. Does everybody go and the casino messed up and didn't schedule to have enough workers because people just showed up? Usually casinos are pretty spot on about knowing when crowds will show up, but sometimes the local football stadium has a great game and everybody goes to the casino afterwards, and the casino's like, that expression, you've been there, right? And they're like, oh no, we didn't bring enough food. And so there are special events which the casino doesn't plan, but mostly they do plan them. But it can also be not a major holiday. It can be Derby Day, you know, across the country. Doesn't even have to be a racetrack with slot machines. It can be a casino without a racetrack, and even without sports betting. All the casinos in the United States get busy on Derby Day. So that's one of those, and you can go to professorslots.com/holiday celebrations. Okay, and that's where that is at. Now, let's. I'm halfway through. Move it along, John. Move it along. Right. So number 6 is the 3 high limit slots tricks and tips and tricks for small bankrolls. This is actually a special presentation. This strategy is special in that I've taken this strategy and I'm talking about something I don't talk about anywhere else, which is combining strategies. I mean, I've talked about it live streams here, but once you learn each of my individual strategies well, it becomes a natural thing to start bringing them together. And that's helpful. So the 5 spin method and highly visible machines, which we'll get to in a moment. So start combining them. It'll happen naturally. But in this one presentation on strategies, I am doing that for you. It's actually 2 strategies, a best practice, and a tip, all combined on how to focused on how to do this at the 5 spin method in high limit rooms with a bankroll on machines that have been idle, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So this is of these strategies, it's the one that's a combination of several. Now, there are other combinations I talk about in my book, but it was too much to have in my 30 days to play slots smarter and win. So I'm currently under development for a second course, which once you know the strategies, then it gets deeper. And so that next course will help people with the combining. Sorry, I didn't mean to have my shocked look on my face there, just looking at you for a while. Yes, so there's more coming to help people so I've got every individual strategy. I know which of them work at my casino. Now tell me about this combining things, because I'm trying to find, how do the sum of the parts are more than the individual strategies. So yes. Okay, so there is also something I used to call, I had a real tough time with naming, and you guys have helped naming this strategy. This was all about coming back 1 week later. The approach here is to sync your gameplay to casinos. This was my come back 1 week later, and that has win, walk away, return later. But it was a terrible name, where the 5 spin method was a great name, and marketing, right? Marketing. And so I've started calling this one my Deja vu method. So this it doesn't require a lot of thought. It is basically you make a note when you see somebody win a jackpot on machines that you would play, and you note the time and the machine, and you come back a week later, and there's no thought involved. All right. It's just, that's it. Now, the whole reason why can be optimized, and you can do better at having a positive result from this strategy. And that I explained in a later strategy, highly visible highly visible machines. But for the Deja vu method, which I use to win more hand pays than the 5 spin method at one of my 2 casinos in Cincinnati, this worked for me. If I win, I come back at that time, and eventually I'm only coming back at that one time. And it doesn't have to be my win. It can be somebody else's win. You come back a week later, start 5 minutes before them, before that hand pay, and your odds are better. And you can see that in your gambling spreadsheets, your gambling records, which I offer. Yes. So see how it all ties together. Then there's the strategy 8, which is casino observations. It's amazing. I just, I'm trying to help you guys. I say, look up from your slot machine. Look around. Go for a walk. Where's the biggest intersection in your casino? Where's the cafe? Are there any slot machines like prominently displayed looking right at people sitting at the cafe? And those of you who have taken the class, those of you who have understood, what highly visible locations mean, it's the casino marketing. And there's tip of the iceberg stuff here. But that is this article here. And I fully explain it. I even have a couple of images shown here later where in the video where I say, this is what you're watching for. Right. So let's move on to highly visible locations, number 9. And I will share that here. Highly visible locations. And I made this thumbnail, they call it. Can you see it? And because in this image, this stock photo, you can see wins on a machine from a distance. And I could show you what the high limit room at the Orleans, it's on their webpage, and they stand, as I recommend, they stand like 20 feet in front of the entrance and take a picture. And I'm like, that machine. On my paid consultation yesterday for someone who's going to the Orleans, I'm like, those, because, and then I explain why it's not those others. The casino wants wins to be seen from a distance. It's marketing, and they more than get paid back for that one win by all the people just getting excited and going and betting on the other machines, which are not set to win. How's that for a quick summary? And number 10, there is another. Right. So, yes. So that's highly visible locations, and that's what you will see in the video to go through it and why pictures are prohibited and the full explanation, which I have not fully gone into here. And then there's 10, which is for online. Now, it may seem different in that this strategy is for online, but in fact, you know it well. Of all my strategies, you know this well because it's based on the 5-spin method. And that's what it does. So basically, the approach, and let me switch over to showing the article. It's a very brief description. There it is, over and done. That's what works. And so basically, you're looking to use the principles behind the 5-spin method. It's not necessarily 5 spins. It's basically $20 per game and stop playing when that game gives you a bonus. So bank the bonus and then step away. And there's some details here that optimize it, but that's basically it. You're not looking for 5 spins. You're looking to spend $20, but stop at the bonus and go to the next machine and do it again. And that ends up having the principles behind the 5-spin method, which I don't normally talk about, which is knowing when to walk away, knowing what loss limits and preserving gains. They're built in. I just didn't tell you they were built in. And so all this matters. And thank you, Magpie. I did show my client yesterday your comment that you had on the Nevada Facebook group on Orleans, and shared that with him. And excellent. So those are the 10, that's my 10 strategies in brief. For fuller explanations. And it took me 35 minutes when I intended to do 20 minutes. That's my 10 strategies in brief, not brief enough. For full explanations, each has its article and videos. You can go to professorslots.com and want to put that away, put that away, put that away. Yes. Right. So if you go to see my mouse, strategies, that's the easiest way to professorslots.com, and then click that. And all my strategies are there, plus a few more for very specific portions of the United States, like Washington, the state of Washington, and et cetera. So, okay. And, my online course goes way past what's in those articles, because you need to know. I basically, I've given you fish today. I've given you 10 fish, but with the course, I teach you to fish, if that makes sense. So winning is about understanding how casinos work, what their goals are, and how you can turn their goals back on them to win. So where is that at? So improve your slots performance in 30 days or less with my 30 days to play slots smarter and win. You get 3 free valuable bonuses plus 1 month free to my Slots IQ membership group, where we have great fun on Thursday nights in a group meeting, and you get community support and accountability. Visit professorslots.com/30 days, and I'm scrolling through some of the testimonials and content here, and learn more about the free bonuses, course content, and testimonials from participants. You can also go to courses.professorslots.com to see all my courses, including the gambling seven gambling records keep secrets, which will go up in price, because I temporarily discounted it $17. It'll go up in price midnight tomorrow night, midnight Eastern. And 30 days to play Slots Smarter and Win is currently available for its permanent price of $97. Excellent. So let's look into the questions. How these live streams of mine work is I talk about something for 20 minutes, not normally 40 minutes, and then I take your questions. And whatever questions you have, it can be about what I talk about each time, and it's different. But hashtag question in front of your question in the comments so I can spot it. And please remember to press the like button, because that is something the YouTube algorithm enjoys. Hey, Sun in the Night. Hi from Germany. Welcome. I was just telling everybody we're worldwide. Linda, welcome from San Diego. Great. Lean, good morning to you too as well. Minka is present. So let me start answering questions. Jason, hi Jason, good to see you again. Have always heard to skip penny slots, but I see more jackpots on max bet penny machines than other denominations. I lost $200 in the high limit room, but walked away with $800 betting max on a penny machine. Right. So how this works is penny slots have the worst odds. However, until recently, there were more penny machines than anything else. What's gotten to be just a little more than penny machines is multi-denomination machines, some of which have a 1 cent denomination on them. So the point here is there are many penny machines, and if there was 50, 145 slot machines at the 40 casinos on the Las Vegas Strip, there's 145 nickel machines. And so you might have to find, but there's 14,000, last time I checked, it was 14,000 or so penny machines. And so, if it's a low number and the odds are low, if there's a few machines of that type and the odds are low, then there's not likely to be any one machine that is higher or lower. All around the average. But when you've got 14,000 on the Las Vegas Strip, that means, yes, the odds on average are low, and there will be some machines which are very low and some machines which are very high because there's just so many darn machines. So you can find a penny machine which pays out. Um, but yeah, the statistics have been very consistent for years and years, decades, saying how low the odds are. But that's the average, little statistics thing. On average, they are low, but you can still find the winners. And guess what? They're usually highly visible locations. Um, Hang on, I had to make sure my voice lasts. Excellent. I'm glad you were able to walk away with $800 for that. Well done. Yeah. Questions. Do casinos on Fremont Street do tastes? You can check specifically by joining my professorslots.com. How this, I have to remember that the people here have been here forever and there's other people that are new, and maybe you're one or the other. But if you go to, come on, okay. If you go to professorslots.com/FB, FB, that's for Facebook, FB, and you click on that, you will find that I have 57 Facebook groups. Facebook kind of got upset at me for doing that, but they've since gotten over it. I started them, 2 years ago? I've got a total 34,000 members. Some of the groups are small, some of the groups are large. I also have Professor Slots Enthusiasts, which got pretty crazy. Was it a year ago? I was getting 300 people joining a day, and it was like, yeesh, I should hire somebody. But Nevada is a fairly big one. I think Washington is my biggest, but Nevada is here. And the reason why is here, and I'm not going to show it to you because it's private and you have to be a member to see what's going on there. And when I found, I this is a math thing. There's 1,000 casinos in the United States. I'll put that away for you. There's 1,000 casinos in the United States. If I went to 2 casinos per week for a year, it would take me 10 years to go to all casinos. And that's if I went to 2 a week, which I'm not doing 2 a week. So I knew that years ago. So I created these Facebook groups so that you can talk to locals, whether, either in your hometown or your home state, your casino, or you can talk to people in Nevada or Las Vegas, and you can ask. So Facebook groups have a search option. It's the upper right-hand corner. It's a little magnifying glass. Type downtown or type the casino name, something brief, Four Queens, something, and just type that and see what the comments have been for the last couple of years. Yeah. And that will answer your question. And if anybody else has a question about whether their casino in some other state has that, go ask. And if you find out you do, go tell everybody else. And that's what that's for. This, support and community. It's taken me a long time to and effort to create those, but they're there for you. Just trying to help. Right. And next question was from Robe. Why does it seem that the high limit areas are placed in hidden areas of the casino, or it seems that way? I've seen it both ways. In Cincinnati, you can look out the doorway and you can see the table games. It's not blocked off at all. It's where the table games players are. And I was playing Wheel of Fortune machines on the back wall in the high limit room, but those are high and there was nothing in front of them above the normal size of a slot machine. So the people out in the high limit room could see the back wall, and when I was spinning that Wheel of Fortune machine, if I landed on $5,000 or $10,000, they could see that. And that's how it's set up at the downtown Cincinnati casino. Also, Cashada. Cashada has in Louisiana has a wide entrance and a narrow entrance up a ramp. The little entrance up a ramp has, you can see basically 2 to 3 slot machines just up that ramp, which by the way is pointed directly at the table game area. And so those are the machines that you can win on. And I have an amusing story with Jan, who I don't think one of my moderators is here. I went with her to Louisiana. We went to 3 casinos, one of them being Cashada. And I said, see how these machines can be seen by the whole table area over here on this small entrance to the high limit room. And it's either going to be this one or this one. But, we're doing the quick tour. We're doing the walkthrough. We're checking the biggest intersections, and we're learning stuff. So we'll come back. And so we came back. About half an hour later, and somebody was getting a hand pay at that machine. The only one we saw on our trip was on that machine, and the one I had said 20 minutes ago, this is it. Naturally, I kept my face straight, and I looked at Jan, and I said, told you. Yeah, well, so yes, but Rob, MGM Grand Detroit, I mean, it was worse. It was hidden. It was hidden, and it was, totally. And if it had like red drapes, and when you look in, it actually, you walked in, there's someone standing there, and then the entrances were that way, so you couldn't even see in. And one was over to the high limit table games, and one was over to the high limit slots areas. And I'm just like, what are you doing here? I mean, it was not pushing it at all. And you have to walk over a large area where they apparently took out a bunch of table games. And so it was just a empty floor, about the size of a football field. It's like, I guess I'm going to trek on over to those drapes and see what's there. And that's how I found the high limit room there. So I've seen it both ways, what you describe. Yeah. Except Linda says, I like high limit room because it keeps all the weirdos away. Except for those people that stand behind me and want to see big wins. Yeah. But they sometimes get chased away. Minka says, you've changed my viewpoint about comp points. I hope for the better. And yeah, hope for the better. John says, you're awesome. No problem, John. Keep up the great teachings. Thank you, John. Appreciate it. Great name, by the way. I think I mentioned that before, right? Camilla says, great overview of strategies. Thanks. You're welcome. Yeah, one of the big events is Sunday football, John says, at a local casino. Last week was good. Lots of people at the bar, right? Yeah, and it's lots of fun. Often goes to Catawba, 2 Kings in North Carolina. They just started getting sports betting. Good crowd last week. All right, yeah, these are the things to watch for. Yeah, so that one of the strategies is, is the casino busy? And maybe they planned it, maybe they didn't. Maybe they planned it and it didn't happen. So you have to kind of know, when does the crowd actually show up? Not just if they plan it, but did it actually happen? Because sometimes casinos gets it wrong. And I think I showed this already, but Magpie says Orleans in Las Vegas has been a great spot in the last 2 months. That's great. And let's see. And you like lots of fun says, likes the review slides. Yeah, people like the review slides. That's one of the upgrades to the if you've purchased my 30 days to play Slot Smarter and Win, you get future access to all new versions as they come out, and the next version, and there's very little content that I want to change because I put a lot of work into what's there. But one of the things I didn't do was, I made I made audio available. I made my talking about something of it available. But one of the things I didn't do was like use slides a lot. And you really do need to have the listen, the eyes, and the kind of seeing what's going on. So I needed to add that component because that's of slides, because that is something that helps people learn. Yeah. Hey, Bruce, good to see you again. Bruce asks, early morning hand pays seem to be frequent. Why would the casino want this when there are few people to witness it? Okay, so they have multiple goals. I didn't get into the full explanation of why they would want to have that. It's in the articles. Basically, what's going on is they're 4 hours behind on their analytics. They don't know how they did for a day. And it's not like midnight comes and they know. It's like 4 hours later. This is something I've pulled out of the financial reports that they give to the SEC and evolved over the years, and words they use and stop using. And anyway, they want to hit their financial targets that they promised to their investors on the day before, and they can neither go too high or too low. That's the whole point of the target. And this is business understanding. Okay. A lot of people are like, well, we'll just, people have ideas and myths about what casinos want to do. And it's just like, no, I think casinos, might have started that way, but after 20 years of being open 24 hours a day, they got better at it. And one of the things I want to do is hit that target. Now, if they miss a target, and this is the point of that I make in that those strategies, if they miss their target and they're too low and they need to get money from players, well, that was a busy night. And it's, as you say, nobody's there later. It might be like a big, Friday night, big Saturday night, and it isn't going to be a big night for a week. Again, it's not going to be a big night a week. Not be a big night again for a week. And so they're just like, what have we done to ourselves? We have to take money for a week from people. And so that doesn't work. But if they don't give back enough, then all they need to do is give out a couple of hand pays in the morning after, when they do know, 4 hours, 4 o'clock, and just give out a couple of hand pays. Now, this is all done legally. Turn up the odds on a machine and then, turn it back down. And somebody needs to be playing then. There's so few people that you could be the one to get that. They're balancing their accounting so that they hit their financial targets, because it's very important that they do. And they found it is easier to give back a little money than try to get money back in from nobody in the casino. It hurts the locals. All the other people on the weekend went home, and so this is the basic method behind it. And so I spent a little extra time on that. But Lisa said, "Good question." And question from Slots of Fun: what's the fastest way to break down the pay table to get a hand pay? Asking for a friend bad at math. Okay, so when you look at a pay table, I'm going to talk about traditional pay tables. All right, where it's kind of like a very brief summary and it's above the reels on a physical reel slot machine, because it's easier to explain that way. What is actually happening with the video slots is you press game rules, and it's 8 to 10 slides with very few pictures. Everything's capital letters, and it looks like somebody from marketing wrote it. And it's nonsensical when I've read them. It's very so I'm going to say you're talking about above the reels, that one page that is not a video, it's just inserted into the machine. How does that work? Okay, so you can look at the pay table and you can say, I am unlikely. There's the pay table is basically the wins that are highest possible and the wins that are the lowest possible. And then there's a center section, medium possible. I mean, they don't say that. I'm saying that. Top jackpots, middle jackpots, lower jackpots. you will get 30 from the bottom third of the pay table, get 30 of those every time you get one from the middle. That's my statistics. 90 hand pays, right around the 30th one, I got something from the middle of the pay table. The rest of the time I got below that. Now, I was playing high limit slots. So if you want a hand pay, you actually have to bet enough, find a pay table where, for what you bet, where the bottom third is going to be hand pays. Because pick a machine and the bottom third is that's what you're going to get, except 1 out of 30 is going to be from the middle. One time in my life, I got one jackpot from the top section. It was the top jackpot. Unfortunately, it was a quarter machine for 3 credits, and I got 4,000 credits. Top jackpot, which was $1,000. The second casino I ever entered in my life. So I'll never do that again. Just, I guess it's over and done. Hope this helps. Yeah, there are lots of, Linda says casinos don't care if you win a hand pay early morning because they'll make money from careless players an early evening or day. When you look at each day separately, but when you start, that's certainly true. But when you look at busy, I like to make the point that Mondays are not Fridays at a casino. Tuesdays are not Saturdays at a casino. Wednesdays are not Sundays at a casino. But further, Mondays are not Tuesdays. They're close, but they are not the same. And every day is different. And that means the casino has a different plan for every day of the week. And so when you start looking at transitioning from a Friday to a Saturday and what to do about it, so I'm talking about the transition between days. And you're kind of talking about what the day is like. And I just completely believe that, careless players, early evening or day. Okay, so Serenacies, do your consults debrief with you after their casino visits? I've been wondering if the advice helped them meet their goals. I would love to have like a number. One of the things I'm thinking about adding is, how many hand pays have you got in your life? And then after the consult, check with them in a month or a year or whatever and say, now how many hand pays do you have? Unfortunately, I introduced the whole idea of records. So they don't remember how they did until they meet me, and then they have gambling record spreadsheets. So I'm like, I could really wish I knew what effect I had other than their feelings. I mean, they've all been happy. They've all been, glad, like all the 5-star ratings on my 30 days to play Slot Smarter and win is great. But I'm just like, if you have an idea of how I can, they have records after they meet me, but they don't have records from before they meet me. And I'm just like, I want to know. Can I give you, John has helped 51 people get 134 hand paid. I'd love to be able to say something like that. But it's not that they don't know how after they meet me, it's that they didn't know how before they meet me. Yeah. I'll keep on working on it, see if I can find a way to sort of like give them a survey question before the consult, and then a month or a year later after the consult, and see if I can get you that data. It's a tricky one. It's a tricky one. I know somebody who does some of the similar things that I do, but they do it for helping people grow on YouTube. And for them, if you're going to become a customer with them and have a consult or whatever, they'll say, what's the name of your YouTube channel? Okay, thanks. And so they say, when you met us, you had this many subscribers. And a year later, you had this many subscribers, and we'll take credit for that. So, if I can't go to the IRS and say, hey, how many hand pays does this person turn in with their taxes? But this other channel, which I think is great, it is able to get those numbers. It's a real frustration for me. Bossier City, Margaritaville. Take a look at Mississippi slots enthusiasts on Facebook. Start asking around. Let's see. Billabong. Oh, and okay, so Billabong 21 says, "Are you still gambling or retired?" So I have two things going on. One is personally, I play slots, and the other thing is, as Professor Slots, I play slots and record and do trip reviews. Personally, I was laid off 2 years ago, and it's a little expensive. I mean, I make my money back, but it's like, you know, $1,500 once a month. I take $3,000. I come home with $4,500, and I'm like, $1,500 a month sounds great, but I'm kind of working on my business where I hope to maybe get up to like $40,000 a month. And so it's like, John, your personal habits, get a dog, get a dog. That is Isaac. So I got a dog, and my personal habit has kind of like fallen to the side because I'm working on helping you. Now, as Professor Slots, I'm not a high limit gambler. I'm gambling what you might spend, what a lot of my audience spends. I go with $300. I go for about 2 to 3 hours. I always go on Sundays get there around noon, leave there around 2 or 3, because what I want to do is compare trip after trip after trip after trip with the same amount of money that I went in with, same length of time, same day of the week. One time I went on a Friday night, and it was, I mean, it was great, but wow, talk about all the different things that are going on. So you can see, it's not a Sunday. So you can go here under reviews, and you can see my trip reports, my casino trip reports, as well as some other things that I'm doing as a review. Belterra Park, MGM Grand, and I sold my car about 2-3 months ago now, and Ubering is kind of expensive. So I'm figuring that out. My neighbors offered to take me, and Horseshoe Indianapolis and Horseshoe Dayton, and Newport. This is HHR games, so you can see some of those reports there. But that's what I'm doing primarily now. Oh, sorry, I didn't add that. Yes, so Horseshoe, Hollywood, Newport, Hollywood, another Hollywood in Indiana, and the previous page, which I didn't show you, was MGM Grand, Belterra Park, with my other review articles. Those are all under, if you go to right here under reviews, you can see those. And so I try to go with the same amount of money, same length of time, same time of day, it would take me 10 years going 2 casinos a week to get to all casinos in the United States. That doesn't mean I can't try once a month, try to go to a casino and learn what works. But it's been hard to keep up with not having a car. And I've done all the close ones. Now I need to do like the ones that are 100 miles away, and 30 miles away is $100 Uber, and so I might as well rent a car. Yeah, I'm. It's a regular thing that I want to do. What is a target for a day, Billabong? What is a target for a day in roulette? Roulette, are you talking video roulette as a slot machine? Or are you just talking roulette? Because we're slots, not roulette. So I'm going to ignore it. You said roulette. I'm going to answer it for slots. If you figured out what works for your casino, profit looks like 30% to 50% over your bankroll. Okay, so if you go in with a $10,000 bankroll, that means you leave with $1,000. 13,000 to 15,000 when you do a 30% to 50% profit. Now people are like, where my neighbors, and I don't know if they're listening, sorry. They were like, I want to win millions. And I'm like, uh, you know, uh, on what machine? The casino doesn't have any machines where you would win millions. So you're talking about 1,000, $1,200 hand pays. That's only 100,000. We're going to have to do 10,000 hand pays in a day. I'm just like, and they're like looking at me and I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah. So 30% to 50% over profit is when you've hit a good target, when you've figured out how to win and you're winning, and that's it. You reach that target, you go home, and then do it again and do it again and do it again. Yeah. 30 to 50%. John says, good morning, slots across America, right? Slots. And there's a channel, Slots Across America. Good morning. Linda says, agreed, New Orleans is a good spot. Yes. And Anthony, you're not the only one. Excuse me, Seth, you're not the only one from San Diego. We have someone else here. Check back in the earlier comments. Bruce has another question. Let's get to that. I have gotten a wealth of information from the data from that Kashana posts on their web page. Can some of this be used as a strategy at other casinos? So what he's talking about is the Kashada website, Kashada Tribal Casino in Louisiana. If you go to their page, and I will show this here. You pull it up, and yeah, okay. So let me show that to you, and so I can express what Bruce is talking about, so everybody understands where he's coming from. Yes. So this is Kashada. If you go to casino, you see my mouse, and you go to slot machines right there, you can see what that page looks like. This is not the page we want. We want the mobile version of this desktop presentation. So we reduce the size of it. Can you see? Maybe I'll make it bigger. Well, actually, you can make it bigger. Yeah. So the idea here is that as you reduce the size of the screen, you see slot search, view requirements, make it just a little smaller. Boom. Recent jackpots over $1,200. So you can look at this on a mobile device, or you can reduce your screen on a desktop. But you click on that, and this is the last 4 weeks of hand pays at Kashada. There was the last upload was today, just before 5 a.m. There was one at 4:58, 48 seconds. 19 seconds before that, there was another. 6 minutes before that, there was another. 5 minutes before that, there was another. There's the machine ID, the jackpot amount, the name of the machine, the denomination of the machine, and a map. So I'll go to the $9,000 win. HD, if the location says HD, that's high limits. If it doesn't say HD, then it's out on the main casino floor. Click on that. Look, that's where that machine is. There's a map. Now, just that gets everybody up to speed. Back. Yes. And so this data can be, downloaded, copied, put into a spreadsheet. If you know how to use a spreadsheet, chart it out, graphs, all that. It's only the last 4 weeks. So you kind of have to get the last 4 weeks, and then in 4 weeks you have to get the last 4 weeks, and then in 4 weeks you have to, and I've with the thanks of one of my moderators who's taken this on, I have it since the beginning of May, or early May, middle of May, right? And so I'm looking forward to having a year's worth of data. So Bruce, what you get from that data, if you have like a year's worth or month's worth, is you can start comparing year to year. You can start saying, you know, there's very little information about um, like when do people win? We talk about, I have strategies about when people are winning, you go do this, but what's the schedule? I'm looking forward to having 5 years worth of data in 5 years, in 4.5 years. And I want to see, okay, August is up, September is down, uh, everything goes up through starting around middle of October through the end of the year. Then it drops off to the worst, you know, for January and February. These things I've gotten the trends, but with that data, I will see the peaks and the drops and the peaks and the drops, and that will be very useful information because it's just not available. This is like my insights, our insights into what's going on with the casino business. The only other place you can get anything like this information is from the Las Vegas Visitors Bureau, and they report hotel occupancy. So it's kind of like attendance rather than hand pays. And in Las Vegas, but in Kashada, it's hand pays and not so much attendance. And so maybe the two together, it's certainly, there's no information except for those two things, and we can make a lot out of that. I mean, we can see a lot out of that. And building a strategy, yeah, yeah. I would love to have a year's worth of data just so I can know, what September is like. And then maybe even compare every year and say, looks pretty consistent, which is something that I do when I do my reviews of the states, right? So if I go to Maine, my most recent return to player, and I look at the data from the states on return statistics, those are the two casinos. And for the first year, when they started the return statistics, they were pretty evenly matched. But ever since then, except for 1 month, Hollywood is much lower than Oxford. You think if you're in Maine, you want to know that sort of stuff? Yeah. And so, what can we make use of with that information from Kashada? I'm completely thrilled. I wish I had back to 2018, but now I've got it since the middle of May. Jane says, is account balancing figured by emptying the slot machines or by stats on the server? Stats on the server, but that's not the only thing. Table games need to be, their chips have to be counted, right? There's paperwork. There's getting it into the system, and then running the calculation doesn't take very long, but there's a lot of data. It needs to be checked. It needs to be verified. Somebody has to, do their thing, accountant or not. What my accountant, his brother was the accountant for a casino in Pennsylvania. I won't say which, and he gave up that job because he was just worked so hard and could not get help, and so he had to leave because it was just brutal. And that's the sort of thing that you can, I mean, not that he told me this, I knew this before I talked, had anything to do with him. And no, the what's in the machines is, they're not necessarily counting cash. But on the other hand, a verification method might be that they have to empty the machines. But I don't, this isn't for the current day, it's for the previous day. So I see where you're going with your suggestion, but the switching out of the cash receptacle around 6 o'clock in the morning, it's more like 4 o'clock in the morning that they know what to do, and it's all over by that time, by 6:30. So they have stats on the server. Oh, sure. Yeah. Mikhail, can the casino adjust their revenue by adjusting the payouts? Yeah. I was just showing that. See? These are, let me make it bigger for you. Uh, just what I had available for you. This is 2 casinos in Maine, uh, and there they are. Go to Oxford because it's been better except for 1 month since, what was that, February 2019? 3.5 years? This is a choice. This is not random. This is a choice. And you can look at my Delaware. I'm working my way through the 20 U.S. states that offer return statistics, and I'm about halfway through. Maryland is something I'm working on next, and you can check the others that are before that. I don't have my list right in front of me of each of those casinos, but you can. So if I take you back to reviews, there's Louisiana, there's Kentucky, and then Iowa before that. And so each of these, and this was a little bit, there's so many casinos in Iowa that when I put the plot together, it's kind of like this. But you can see the blue across the top is one casino, the brown across the bottom. What is the top casino? Let's see. The 2 casinos with the best returns. This blue here is Prairie Meadows. This green here is Lakeside, and everything else is bracketed in between. This is all choices of the casino. You know, I think the original one that I show here is data from the beginning of 2019, but I just wanted to, and that gap is the pandemic when everything closed. So yeah, I just try to show like the last 2 years and the final result here. Yeah, state data. You know, it's not me; it's state data. Go pull it from the state gaming commission yourself. Yeah. uh, Yeah, I told somebody that thank you, Mel. I told somebody that I would get a second dog once I kind of like, once he got to 2, because it was kind of full time. Um, oh, uh, Boomdia, I'm so sorry. You're ashamed to admit your walk of shame to the car. I'm so sorry. Um, uh, you're in Canada. It's great that you have a bus system. There might be one in my area. I think there's a couple options. One of the things is everything that I do is prioritized and well thought out. And I try to learn something new and just include it to everything, like the return statistics, and just add to anybody who started listening to my podcast in 2016. They come back and they say, you've really kind of gotten better, like every year. And so I would like to be able to do that. Just between you and me and whoever's listening, yesterday I started looking for apartments in Reno, because I'm looking to make a change from my 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, 2 years, 3 months ago. I was let go. I was laid off as an aerospace engineer, and my life was sort of designed around being an aerospace engineer with my log home and farmland, not too far from where I had to work all the time and rather intensely. And now I thought it would be great to be near family. And so I'm looking to make that change. Yeah. Yeah, I'm out in the sticks. Yes. Um, yeah, no, I love Kashada and their transparency as well. On the other hand, if they figure out what they've done, if they become a fan of my channel, they're going to be like, the website guy didn't talk to got permission, but didn't really tell the general manager what was going on. And so somebody's going to, right hands not talking to the left hand, and someday somebody's gonna go, "What have you done?" and cancel all of it. But, that's why I don't wait 4 weeks, to that's why Jan sends me weekly what they've uploaded lately, and if they stop, well, I still have since middle of May. Yeah, yeah. Uh, Glad you're keeping a casino notebook, Serenity. Well done, well done. Um Yes, right? If I if, if the travel costs hadn't been so high, since May, and if my situation hadn't been what it is, I would be putting a lot more money budget-wise into traveling and, you know, go to Kashada, use the data I already have, go, go, go. Instead, somebody else, a fan is checking it out regularly, weekly, every other week, and we talk about it in our Thursday night meetings. Peter, hi Peter, heading to Agua Caliente in Palm Springs this afternoon. Any tips to hit a jackpot? um, have you ever been there? I mean, my basic advice, just to start people off, is: have you been there? What do you know about that casino? What have you learned about that casino? And use that. If you've never been, then my trip reviews are what I do at new to me casinos. And I talk about steps to take. So I'll just tell you, walk the casino. Where's the biggest intersection? Where's the cafe? If it's very popular, very common to have highly visible machines be set to winners. But like Soaring Eagle in Michigan has it on every end of row machine, yet Kashada only has it by the central display, that where they have this motorcycle on a pedestal turning, and where they have these giveaways, and also not both entrances on the high limit room, but the smaller one that has a better view of the table. You're looking for 3 machines at most in the casinos that have a budget for this, and it's the lowest possible budget, but they still do it. Now, if they're Soaring Eagle, they do it on every end of row, and maybe your casino has that. Maybe Agua Caliente has every end of row machine, but sometimes it's only a couple machines in the casino. So walk the casino, find the biggest intersection, go down the biggest, find the biggest aisle. Probably goes by the high limit room. I'm just telling you now, unless it's hidden, like someone was saying earlier. Go find the widest aisle. Go down that aisle until you find the second widest aisle, and at that intersection, look around. And instead of 1,500 slot machines that you're trying to figure out which one to win on, it'll be one of those 15 machines. Your odds are better. Good luck. Also, if everybody's winning, that's a great time to play. If nobody's winning and the whole place is crowded, but nobody's winning, take it as a sign. Yes, old habits die hard. I call my YouTube channel "Play Slots Smarter and Win." Play slots smarter, and then the second part of it is so important. Leave with your winnings, because a lot of people are like, for the first time ever, I'm winning. But what do you know? I can't get out. And it's kind of a shock. Yeah, it's people who know how to get out have had a reason to do so. They've done something in their life for years where they got better at it. Playing slots. I was talking to somebody yesterday, horse betting, where they learn to get away, learn to get out. And it is something that is something we learn. Yeah. Let's see. Questions. Looking for hashtag questions. Hi, John. Good to see you. Talk about coming in from, let me get it right, Philippines. How come on games which has gaming regulations as good as or better than Las Vegas? and as Nevada. How come on games like Dancing Drums and Bao, when the POT is full, it takes forever to close, while in some machines the pot is half full, but it closes upon a few spins? Mind blown. So in, like, for instance, Dancing Drums, that pot being filled is not what's happening. It's an animation that kind of represents a little bit of what the betting is, but too many people look at that and say it has meaning, that I can see it's almost full. What? It's just a graphic. It kind of relates, but it isn't like a pot is being filled. So it's only approximate, and it's used by slot machine manufacturers to be like, we wouldn't want to show it when it's accurately. We don't have to show it when it's accurate. We can show something, and if we just make it so that it never quite fills and mislead people, then that machine makes more money for the casino. There's no obligation to make the graphics, a representation of what is actually happening. Read the game rules and see if any of these things are there. And the game rules are hard to read, straight up. But you're being misled. There's a lot of things going on with the slot machine manufacturers. This is the topic of my last live stream about bonuses. There's lots of stuff going on where if we can just convince people who know a little bit but not a lot that making bets longer matters, then that machine makes more money, and we're helping out our clients, the casinos, for it to generate more money for them. And if players find it out, they're mad, but then not that many people are mad. Yeah. Don't be misled by a graphic. If the graphic is, proves to be accurate on some machine, I don't know your Jin Kai Bao Kai machine. I don't remember at least playing it. That it may be accurate, but if you see it's not accurate, I'm going with you. You're the one that saw it wasn't accurate. It's those people who haven't yet figured out it's not accurate that are losing so much money. Yeah. Hey, Steve. Question. You really get down to like 2,000 characters, and you're really shortening things up so you can fit the whole thing in. Way to go. 2 full lines. I think he had like 3 characters you could have used left. So my local has installed new to the casino floor machines, and some are up and running, but they also took many of the regular offline and have the paperwork on them just like the new ones. And also took many of the regular offline. Okay, that part of what you said is fine. And you said, and have the paperwork on them, just like the new ones. I went to, what is it? It was Indiana Grand, but they changed the name very recently or a year ago, in Horseshoe, Indianapolis. And I went in and I counted how many machines were broken. It wasn't a move order, it was a work order, taped to the front of the machine. And I read them. I even took some pictures of them, which I'm not going to show you, but I took some pictures of them because I'm studying it, and I'm looking at a bad connection to the central server, stuff like that. Broken this, something that, others were like, somebody had hit and it was shattered. So obviously that's why it was broke. But some of the internal reasons why it was faulting were all described. And also on it was a date on when the incident occurred. And some of them were 4 months old. And 15%, what was that? That was like 150 slot machines, almost 200 out of roughly 2,000 slot machines that they had. Wow. And so they just had built up because parts and trained personnel and all that were limited. And so, did you read the paperwork? You might want to take a look. I found it fascinating. Fascinating. Yep. Boombia said it's so much easier and better than I did. John, the pots are just visuals to get you to chase. Doesn't matter. what they said. What they said. Steve says maybe reprogramming, or what do you think is going on, or updates? So that's a follow up of your question. I thanks for explaining it further. I think I got it right when you were asking. Have I been to Temecula? Last time I was in Los Angeles, I was there for an interview with the Aerospace Corporation, which is a weird name for an aerospace corporation to call yourself Aerospace Corporation, but they were actually established next to the Air Force Base there near the airport. They were actually established as the first aerospace corporation in the 50s. And so they didn't think it was unusual just to call themselves Aerospace Corporation. Anyway, I had my interview there, and I thought about running out to the nearby casinos, even though it's not particularly nearby. I began to realize with traffic and everything in Los Angeles that it was just too far away, and I would have liked to have gone out to Temecula. It's likely that I would have ended up, if I'd gotten that job. That job went to my student, who then, my PhD student, who then turned them down. So I have all these stories. But yeah, I wasn't able to get out to Temecula on that. The time before that, I actually got invited to come work for SpaceX, but they couldn't seem to make up their mind as to what job I would have. They weren't sure what job I would do. My particular area of in aerospace kind of requires a fleet. And the fleet, they don't quite have a fleet yet. And so it was all sort of like, well, we need you, and if you're available, we want you, but we wouldn't want you to just, we can figure it out later. And I was like, no, let's figure it out now. And so it didn't work out. Nice to be asked. Questions back and forth. Questions. I'm looking for a hashtag question. I don't see a hashtag question. And Steve, we're coming back to you again. These machines seem to be down for like 3 to 5 days. I wouldn't think recruitment would take this long. You'd actually be surprised. The new casino, the casinos that were the new casino in downtown Cincinnati, the racetrack that became a slot machine facility as well in Belterra Park. I had a chance to see some of the errors when you initially set up a whole new building and put in new slot machines because they're new. And had a chance to talk to a slot tech about all the information they don't get, which they need on the machines. And one of the things is how many seconds need to be set before the machine faults out if it runs out of paper and there's no voucher printed. So you say cash out, but there's an error and there's no voucher printed, and the machines would fault out and the service light would go on all the time, and they had to fix that. And what was the slot tech was telling me was these settings, there's so much they don't know that they have to kind of like figure it out, maybe make a bunch of calls, whatever. They had set 3. They'd set the setting for how long you had to wait before the voucher, if it didn't print, would have the error code, and they said 3. Turns out that was 0.03 seconds, and that nobody had told them that you have to multiply it by 100 to get 3 seconds or 1,000. It was just like, instead of 1, 2, 3, okay, it's broken. And so that's all part of the setups, and the lack of information that they had to do all that. They had to, it was interesting to hear how they had to dig into this and fix it. So and yeah, 3-4 days, and that was back when everybody was busy. These days, it's hard to get good help. Um, you know, Question from John. Okay. And sorry, John has given a donation. Thank you, John. John is in the Philippines, and it's Filipino pesos. And I don't remember how much that is. I believe it's like $1.30. So, um, but thank you. All donations are appreciated. Thank you very much. So, I just love the whole idea of currency and what's going on there. So John has a question. Thank you for your donation. On the Lightning Links, why is maxed out major so hard to hit? I was able to hit majors when it's not maxed. And on the hold and spin feature, it always teases me with 1 to 2 balls left to hit the grand. Dude, it always, on the hold and spin feature, is always teases me with 1 to 2 balls left to the. That's the whole point. It is teasing you. It is getting you to, if only I could continue to play, and if I wasn't running out of money, I would win. It's the whole psychology set up to win. I have my tough love method, which is am I winning? And I go through it, but am I winning? Not, do I think I might win someday? Do I think if I just put more money in, I would, I do an annual survey, and people come back to me and they say, I ask them, what's the number one thing that's preventing you from winning at slots? Not having enough money. I'm like, what? So they're programmed to think to chase wins. If you put in $100 and you don't make $110, figure out how to make $110 before you bring $1,000 and try to make it $1,100 before you bring $10,000 and try to make it $11,000. More money isn't going to help you if you're not succeeding with less money. I think I said that pretty well. Okay. Steve says, when casinos move machines from one location to another, does it have to be I don't know what you are saying. I got the first part, but the last 4 words are kind of throwing me. When casino move machines from one location to another, does it have to be rest? I don't know. I don't know what you're saying. Sorry. You know my email address if you want to ask me there. Improve your slots performance in 30 days, or where am I at? There I am. Improve your slots performance in 30 days or less with my 30 days to play Slots Smarter and win. You also get 3 free valuable bonuses plus 1 month free membership to my Slots IQ group, where you'll get community support and accountability. Visit professorslots.com/30 days to learn more about the free bonuses, course content, and testimonials from participants. And here you can see my 3 additional 2 that started last weekend, one of them free courses on record keeping, as well as my 30 days to play Slots Smarter and win. The 7 gambling records secrets is only going to be for sale, $20 and we'll go back up to its $37 cost at midnight tomorrow night. So if you are interested in having better gambling records for your gambling deductions, and remember, if you don't get gambling deductions, you're just one hand pay away from doing so, then this is what you need. So, okay, that's it. What a great live stream. You'll see me in my next live stream on Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. In the meantime, watch this video on my challenge to you on the one free thing you should do to win more often at slots. Everybody have a great day, great week.